Hi guys, welcome. Danny here from the Magic Junk Drawer. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about thoughts and reality and projection and reflection, if any of this makes any sense. Okay, I hope that this makes sense. So years ago, my friend, I mentioned her in a few videos ago, the one that broke up with her boyfriend, got back together, and then he dumped her, and she was really depressed over it, even though she didn't really want to be with him anyway, and she fell into a slump. Well, she was seeing a therapist at this one point, and it was around the same time that not just her, but me and my other friends were sort of going through a similar, we had a lot of similarities in our situations. And the therapist used to say to her that she was picking people from this wounded inner child place. So it was almost like the therapist was insinuating that she had some sort of psychic ability that was able to pick out the one guy that would want to have nothing to do with her, and that was the guy that she would be interested in. And I used to argue, because I'm always have to be skeptical about everything, and I always have to voice my opinion. My opinion was, how could you possibly know that this one person wouldn't be interested in you, and that's why you're interested in that person? Like, to me, it's almost like you're torturing yourself for no reason. So the only reason why you find this person attractive is because you think he's not attracted to you? All right. So we went back and forth and spoke a lot about this. And we never really came up with any conclusions because, things just were what they were. And a lot of times, like many of us, we repeated the same situations over and over again. So for her, for many years, nobody wanted to be with her. For me, I was always like taking the back seat to somebody else or some other situation or something that was more important than me. I had another friend that when she dated a really nice guy that kind of went out of his way for her, she sort of pushed him away, and she was kind of like attracted to the guy. It's like the guys that didn't do the right thing by her. And this was a little bit of a cycle that we had gone through for a few years. So it was always, and we would always find ourselves talking about, well, it's the same situation again. It's the same situation again. Okay, but here is the thing. It's always going to be the same situation. If you keep believing it's the same situation, that's what you're putting out there, and that's being reflected back to you. So my friend, the one with the therapist, and that you're picking these people from some kind of an inner wounded place that knows that this person isn't interested in you, that friend, she worked with a lot of men. And these men would make comments about women that were like calling women fat that were like a size 6. And my friend, who was a little bit bigger than that, would say things to me like, oh, he called this one fat and she was like a size 6, and what does he think of me, and blah, blah, blah. But now, after studying the law of attraction, I'm starting to look at it from a different point of view, and I'm starting to see that it was her own thoughts, or this is my theory now, and you can comment below. My theory is what was being reflected back to her were her own thoughts. Her thoughts were, look at how thin that girl is. Look at how much fatter I am. And this person saying it to her was proving her right. And not just her. That's just one example that I can think of off the top of my head. But we all do this. So if you have found yourself in a repeated situation with a different player, the therapists always said, and I'm not talking bad about therapists. If you see a therapist, that's fine. The therapist would say that it's an inner wound that's attracting you to this person. But I'm starting to believe that those people are insignificant. It's your own belief that is making this situation, it's reflecting the situation back to you. You very rarely hear somebody who's very successful say, I suck at this. They just don't think that way. I recently watched a video, and I might have mentioned it before, but it sticks in my head. It was an interview with Marion Ross, who played Mrs. Cunningham on Happy Days. And she was talking about being in the acting industry, and way back when it was difficult for women to break into it. And that in college, somebody had said to her, it's a very tough field. You know, how are you going to survive? And she said, I'm not I'm not worried about how I'm going to survive. I'm worried about how everybody else is going to survive. Like, she knew she could hold her own. She also mentioned that these movie directors and people in high places, producers, would tell her that they could take her places and they can do things with her and they could make her a star and whatever. And she was like, listen, I'm talented and I'm a married woman and I'm not going to do those kind of things. So you can sign me on my talent or we won't have it at all. And she stuck to her guns, and she wound up becoming a very successful actress. But the point is that she didn't sit around saying, you know, I think that this one is better than me and that one's better than me, and what if so-and-so gets the job and not me, and maybe the producer likes Marilyn Monroe better, and I don't know, maybe Judy Garland is better for this than me. Her attitude was, I am talented, I know what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to do, and I am not going to compromise my own beliefs because I don't have to. I have the talent that speaks for itself. And then that was what was reflected back to her. Now, all these other people that, you know, we don't know, we never met, because maybe their attitudes weren't as strong. They didn't believe in themselves the way that Marion believed in herself. So when you're in a situation that keeps repeating itself, and like I said, I've been there. Remember, Peanut, she stole my spotlight, the recital, when I was 4 or whatever it was. And then what happened the next time? And then at my Sweet 16, my best friend stole the spotlight. And then when I was 20, it happened again. I mean, it constantly happened because that's what I believed what was going to happen. This is what I put out there, so this is what came back to me. So if you're in a situation that keeps repeating itself, check what your beliefs are, and you have to figure out how you can change them. And there is a way to change them. First of all, if nothing else, I know this sounds so silly, but a negative thought pops into your head. Oh, Mary Jane showed up. She's better for the part than me. Flush that negative thought down the toilet. See the toilet, see the water, see Mary Jane is better than me going down the toilet. I don't care. See it. And then immediately change your thinking. So you thought it once, now say it 3 times. I am the best person for the part, whatever the part might be. Now, let's just say that there's a person that is physically standing in your way. I don't know why, but I always imagine this person melted on the floor like the Wicked Witch of the West, with the hat on top and everything, like melted on the floor, just like the Wicked Witch. Just imagine that. Throw water on the person and watch them melt. Because it's not them. It's not about them. It's about what's happening in you. It's about what you're thinking. You know, let's put it this way. Everybody else in that dance recital doesn't remember Peanut. Everybody else in that dance recital didn't want to sing the song. I did. Maybe somebody else may have, but I don't think all of us were jumping for that part. It was, you know what I mean? So it was just that I remember it today, X amount of years later, because it was so important to me. But it was that moment where everybody else became better than everything than me. Everything. Everybody else became better at everything than me because I always let them have it. Because it was my own thinking. You know, it was my own thinking. And then it's like things that people say to you. I wanted to be an actress. I went to school for acting. I got a degree in acting. And like my mother would say things to me like, you better get a career so you can support yourself. What are you doing here? You know, so in my head it was always, well, you can't do it. Oh, this one can do it. She can do it. He can do it. But you can't. Why can't I? Why couldn't I, but the guy next to me could? You know, it's all about the way that you're believing and you're thinking. Now, forget about the acting career, but this, you can't, sticks with you in every other situation. So when it comes to getting a job, I mean, I've been up for jobs where I know that I am damn well qualified. I know that, I mean, when I was interviewing for grocery store positions after A&P closed, I could run those stores standing on one leg blindfolded with one arm tied behind my back, and they were offering me minimum wage, and then they wouldn't even give me the job because they didn't like the hours that I was available. Meanwhile, all those stores still have their hiring now signs up because they can't find anyone. I could be in there running the place, and I know I can because I did it. And I did it. I grew up doing it. You know, it's not like something I did for 6 months. This is like embedded in me. I can multitask like nobody's business because I had to learn how to. But there was something in me that always felt like, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. It's not for you. It's not for you. And this is what kept being reflected back. So try to figure out, if you keep repeating the same situation, the same scenario with different people in different locations at different times, but it's the same thing, take notice of what it is, what your belief is about the situation, or what the belief is about you. All right, let me know what you think. Comment below. And if you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.